didn't record this. Damn. So let's check what the seasonality for CHF is saying, and then we will see if it's the best ideal to buy or sell CHF. So um right. So the 11th right here with CHF. CHF looks quite confusing. So I'm just not gonna even, I'm not gonna even play around with CHF at the moment. So I'm just gonna go straight to JPY. JPY doesn't look good. We leave JPY alone. Let's check Euro. Euro looks much more better towards the buy side. So we check um the seasonal tool for Euro and see what the Euro is saying. So we check if we can get a little bit of buying power in the euro. See, so euro euro looks okay for, think, 15th, right? 15th would be the ideal time to kind of look into euro, but that's Thursday, so that's kind of like Thursday 15 to 16, so it's like Thursday to Friday for the buy on euro. But is it really worth the risk? Let's see if we can find something better. If we can't find something better, then we stick with euro. But it's just a 1 day trade. I really don't like playing with 1 day trade. USD is giving us a buy. So, but from what I've seen though, from the what's it called? From what I've seen from the seasonality chart for USD, I don't think the buy would play out. But let's see. It's a very, very slight buy that is in there. But let's see what we're looking at. Why is it giving us a buy? So 11th. So I think they're giving us a buy just because of this short pullback, but it's like a day pullback. So with that, we ignore that. There's no alignment between the seasonality and the COT report. Let's see CAD. Do we have anything? Okay, we have CAD going long, and let's check. Now I see that it might look like everything. It doesn't look like we have any alignment. Sometimes in trading, you get weeks that there's no alignment, and you don't want to risk it for the cookies. If you do risk it, you might actually lose it all. So sometimes it's just best to let it go. So with the CAD, we got the buy. So let's see. The ideal time for buy on the CAD doesn't look like we have an alignment. So on the 15th now, for example, there's no alignment. We can try to squeeze in the 14th, but what happens is if we squeeze in the 14th, the 40 years doesn't really give us that full entry. We can squeeze in the 14th up until the 16th, but I think we can actually squeeze in 14th till 16th, but we might have a pullback on 15th. So I'm not really sure about that. Let me check another asset. See what might be in play. Oh, GBP. This asset is a very, very brutal one, but it looks like it's giving some buying power. Let's see what the GBP seasonality shows. All right. So the GBP seasonality. Let's see what's okay. 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 So with the GBP seasonality, actually, we see a buy on the 14th, right? On the 14th, right here, we see that buying power coming in. And if I'm not mistaken, you know, there should be a sell from 12 all the way to 14th. Okay. So on the 14th, we see the buying power coming in. On the 14th is Wednesday, right? Right. Let's see probability quickly. Let's see what we can find a probability with this one. Right. So we got the GBP, got GBP CHF, got GBP JPY, we got Euro GBP, we got GBP USD. Let's see. I'm just gonna load everything up and you know and try to see what we can find, which one would be ideal. So we want to see a buy power come to play around the 14th, right? With the GBP. So let's see what we can find from the 14th. So on the 14th, we have a 60% on this on GBP CHF. No, actually 14th, 60%, 60, and 72 and 56. So what I'm gonna do is GBP CHF long the 14th, right? So, right, let's see. The ideal pullback is not even in play up until the 18th. So that will be a trade that's going to be held until next week, to the end of the week. So 14th to so we got 14th to 16th, maybe. Let's see. Wow, this goes on up until the 20th. Oh wow, wow. Okay, okay. Up until 27th. Okay. Oh, to the end of the month. Okay. So with this one, for example, now, I mean, we can go in there and come out on the 18th and then go back in on the 21st and come out all the way to the end of the month. So GBP CHF long till 30th. Okay. So GBP CHF, that's one is gonna be like, to the end of the month. Um, my battery is kind of low. Excuse me a second. Let's plug that in. All right. So that's that in play. Then we have this as well. So buy. Okay. This one is this one too looks all the way to the end of the month, but because I know now, this is where you kind of use logic to play this out. Because I know JPY, right? JPY is also, I think, is also on a buying spree. So I don't want to really mess with two assets that are going in the same direction, right? You know, this is also having a buying spree up until the 18th. So I don't want to really mess with GBP, JPY, but it's also another buy assets. I mean, to look into. So if we check, yeah. So with the GBP, JPY, it seems that the JPY is playing out. The JPY buy is playing out much more better than the GBP, JPY is playing, and the GBP buy is playing out. Um, so what could happen is I wouldn't play with this at all. I wouldn't even touch GBP JPY. So let's check Euro GBP. Let's see. So we're looking for a sell on this side from the 14th. So we got that 14, 15 sell, but we don't have that 16th sell. So, I want to play this all by the book. So I'm just gonna let that slide. GBP USD, we got that buy from the 12th from tomorrow. But because we know that there's no alignment with probability, with seasonality on these two dates, unless, or only unless, if we see, let's check USD. If we see a weakness in USD from the 12, then we might be able to scrape some of that buying power. So let's see what USD is going to do on the 12. In the meantime, while that's loading, I'm just going to get GBP USD in play. So far, though, GBP is looking weak, but looking at this, there is yeah, there's a double bottom right here. So there's a double bottom. So price tested here, price retested it the second time. So that might be an indication of a buy coming into the GBP USD. So from the 10th, 11th, we might see a pullback up until 13th. So the 13th will be the ideal time for us to go in based on the USD going down. So if we look at that, it says 13th, and we know from the GBP one we're looking at 14, then what we can ideally see is let's see, what we can see with this one is we can go in from the 13th actually, but I would recommend going in from the 14th for the buy for GBP USD, right? For the GBP USD one, I'll recommend going in on the 14th because right here gives okay, that 13 look good on the 40 years and the 5 years, but doesn't look good on the 15 years. That's why the 13 wouldn't, I wouldn't really want to go for it, but it could be worth the risk, going in for this on the
Sorry, I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello, your sound is off. Can't hear you.
Hello?
Please, no voice is coming out.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, but it's quite far. It
See
sounds
what
far.
message looked at. Thank you very much. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's not too clear.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Not too clear. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. I can hear you now.
Apologies, guys. I
Yeah,
couldn't.
clear now, clear now.
So, apologies. I came in too late, so I couldn't literally fix everything in place. So, so yeah. So far, what we're looking at is we're looking at GBP CHF long, GBP USD long. So CHF from 14th to the end of the month, but I recommend coming out on the 16th and going back in again. I think the later date will be 18th, if I'm not mistaken. But um, no, coming out on the, let's see, what date is this? 18th. So if we look at 18th, yeah. So coming out up until the 16th, and then going back in on the 21st, right? 21st will be the Wednesday, the upper Wednesday. But there's a possibility that once price leaves where it is currently on the GBP CHF, price might not even touch there again. So for the guys that want to hold for a long term all the way to the end of the month and just sink the in a trade, then this might be the ideal one. I mean, looking at this, what I can only see is most likely price might consolidate around this region. I would actually like it to drop even further, but price is currently somewhere around here. If we switch to the 4 hour time frame and we look back at it, we could see this region right here as ideal, entry zone. So if price could like come down to around this zone and play around this zone, that would be ideal enough to go for the entry, and then you know, and hopefully, when price goes back up, the take profit. I mean, just looking at this, the take profit will be somewhere around here, which would be about 363 pips for the GBP CHF. So there's quite a lot of movement to be taken out of this with 300 and some pips. If you're trading that with one lot, I think that should be about 3 grand. So if you're trading with zero point 0.1, that's 300 and something, and if you're trading with 0.01, that's about 30 something. But either ways it goes, it looks like this might go up depending on when we choose to go in. But I would say we should wait till the 14th before we even decide to actually trade this asset. And as much as I really said, gold is this might drop also, but it doesn't just look like there's alignment. As much as I said gold is very high risk, it's something that I would actually like to trade. So with gold, for example, gold is also a sell for the people that can that can handle the heat. Now, if you have $100 account, 200, $300 account, man, you're gonna blow this if you go into this asset, because if this doesn't go right, you know, you can lose it all. But with gold, for example, gold could be another sweet one to go into, and we can be looking at that sell from around today, I think. But we do not have any probability asset that supports this kind of move. So this is super high risk trade. Gold is on a super high risk move. What you would expect is price to consolidate within this region a little bit between the 20 and the 50. So maybe price comes back all the way to the 50. If it does, then it's best to short gold at that point and probably just walk away at this point right here for your profit. Just from all the way from here to here, which is about under 400 and some pips. So if you want to really risk it, you can risk that and and take that move. But if you don't want to risk it and want to be much safer, just go for the GBP CHF. Now keep in mind, GBP moving in a sporadic way. This asset is crazy, it's insane. But the reward seems to be good. It's another extra 300 and some pips to bag, 360 pips if price comes back to that level. But don't go in beforehand. Just wait till the date, the 14th. And GBP USD, you can also look to go into that one, to buy. It's already done this double bottom, so we're looking at the Tuesday buy or Wednesday. So the entry is going to be between Tuesday and Wednesday. That you would have to determine by price action, the way price is moving, or you can do that by looking at this indicator that this PZ support and resistance stuff. So let me just put that on. And from what I can see on the PZ anyway, price seemed to, that double bottom that that I drew out is where this red line is. So probably anything above this level right here, this gray level is good, but something to watch out for is this 50 and 20 moving average, both of them stacked up right there. So I would probably just wait till price plays out a little bit, probably even ideally falls down a little bit. You know, let me see if we can find any support zone lower than. Now this is too far. This is way too far. So, yeah. So ideally, price plays somewhere around here a little bit. Maybe even comes back down here, and then that's only when I'll decide to buy this. And you can see on the 4 hours, everything is just stacked up. 50, 20, 50, 200, all three stacked up against it. So price is gonna receive a lot of resistance. So what I would expect is if price could come here into here, I would take my 87 pips first, and then whatever is left, whatever position is left, I'll probably take everything out at the 200 moving average, which is about 147 pips. So if you combine that, if everything goes good, the GBP, USD, GBP, CHF, and if you're feeling extremely lucky and go for the gold one, you should ideally come out with, if I'm not mistaken, about almost 900 pips. So that should be it. Is there any question so far? I know that today's session is slightly different from the way I normally do things. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be very happy to answer anything. No? Okay. If there's no questions about it, I mean, I can give you guys a little bit longer. I can give like, another 10 seconds. If anyone has a question, you can type it up or you can unmute yourself. If not, then this will be the two trades to go in for. Now keep in mind, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is on a lower risk. Yeah, that should be a lower risk. I will classify this as being medium risk, and you know I will classify this to be a medium risk because of the EMAs all stacked up against it. Medium risk, and gold for the short. Okay, this one is just super high risk. This is not even in the high risk section. That's super high risk, and I'm not gonna put the date to short it there anyway, just because I'm not calling this trade, but I might take this trade. So that's what's happening. But these two are so, I think they're so far sufficient to be to be traded this week coming. Okay, so that concludes it for like today's webinar, guys. Thank you for being patient with me, and with the technicals and everything. And I'm looking forward to see you guys with success and profit this week coming. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys in the chat room. If you have any questions, just pop in the chat room. I'll be able to answer, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, B. B. Thank you, Rashida. You guys take care of yourself. And thank you, Fort Square Trade. All right, take care of yourself, guys. Have a lovely, enjoy the lovely evening. Take care. Bye.